Hey, young man, you're 25 years old and you're still living at home with mommy? Well, we're going to talk about it when we get back. Okay?
Okay.
Hey, happy Monday. CLM II for Style with Power, the channel that helps empower men through style. And if you're into videos that talks about style, that talks about fashion, that talks about empowerment, and that talks about mindset, well, this is the channel for you. So don't forget, hit that subscribe button, hit the little notification bell so you'll know every time we upload a video. Hey, so happy Monday once again, and as you know, we're in the fall season, and I was just thinking about today's show, and I was going to talk to some of my young men out there because, as many of you may know, I work in higher education, and I am a director of a young men's program. And one of the things that I talk to my young men about is making a plan, making goals, because eventually you're going to want to move out of your parents' home. And many of the young men who I know, they're in their 20s already, and they still live at home with their parents, whether it's mother and father or whether it's just their mother. And I always ask them the question like, okay, what's the plan? When are you planning on leaving the nest? Because 25 to 50 years ago, the plan was always, hey, you go to high school and when you turn 18, you're either going to go off to college or you're going to go out and get yourself a job or you're going to join the military. So if you go off to college, if you go away to college, then you're going to dorm. And when you dorm, that's a form of independence. So you kind of move out of your parents' home and you dorm. You get yourself a job, well, hopefully you make enough money so that you can move out of your parents' home and you can start living your independent life. You go off into the military, of course, you're leaving home, right? But either way, when you turn 18, you're making that decision to start becoming independent and leaving home. Now, for those young people that wanted to stay at home while they went to school, which I was one of those individuals, you kind of went to school, you was a commuter, you went to school and you came back home, but it was always a plan that once you graduated from college, you was going to get yourself a job and you was going to get your own place. And that's what happened with me. I went to college for 4 years. I was a commuter student, so I lived at home while I was in college, but my plan was always that when I finished school, I'm getting out. And when I graduated, got myself a job, and I moved out. So by the time I was 22, I had my own place. Now I have young people who goes to school and they're in their 20s, 21, 22, some as old as 24, 25, and they still live at home with their parents. It's important for you to understand that in order for you to truly be independent, you have to leave the nest. You cannot remain in the nest, especially for my young men. Remember that as a man, you will only become a man once you are able to take care of yourself, become independent. You should not be a burden on your parents. Your parents are not expected to continuously take care of you. You must start taking care of yourself. So this is just for my young men out there. It's time for you to set some goals, make a plan, and get yourself out of the nest. Remember, if you're out there looking for a significant other, right, she or even he does not want to know that you're still living at home with your parents. And if you're 25, 26, 27, 28, and you're still living at home with your parents, that's just not a good look. So, my advice, make a plan. Ask yourself, what is it that I need to do in order to live independently? How much money do I need to make in order to rent out my own space or maybe even buy a home at a young age? what do I need to do? Start working on that plan. Set some goals. Ask for help. There are individuals who can give you some guidance and can help you get through that process. It's very, very important. Parents want to know that their children will be okay without them. If you're not going to be okay, your parents will allow you to stay home, or your parents will force you to grow up, and that conflict will begin to happen. All right? Make a plan, stick to it, ask for help. It can be done. I did it. I wasn't anything special. Many people did it. They're not anything special. If they can do it, you can do it. Okay? Make a plan. Let's go out there and let's make it happen. Well, this is October, and October is Domestic Violence Month. And you probably have heard or seen a lot of advertising about domestic violence. And domestic violence is one of the scourges of the earth. But not only does domestic violence happen to women, but domestic violence also happens to men. And men, as we know, we're proud people. We don't always want to let individuals know that we're going through a domestic violence situation. I just heard recently about a famous radio DJ who was in a relationship where the woman became physical with him. First, it always starts off as verbal, and then all of a sudden it gets physical. And as men, we know it's not good for us to hit women. No matter what the woman does, even if she gets physical, we're not supposed to put our hands on them. But it's important for you to understand the signs of domestic violence. It usually starts off verbal. You'll be in a relationship and the person wants to control you. So they'll do things to try to control you. They'll constantly call you. They constantly want to know where you're going, what you're doing, what are you wearing, right? From there, it gets even more and more intrusive, where eventually it can get physical, right? It starts with the mental abuse, and then it goes and turns to physical abuse. You must get help. So in the description, I'm going to leave a domestic violence hotline for all those individuals out there who may be in domestic violence. You may not know the signs. This hotline and these websites can give you the information that you need in order to know whether you're involved in a domestic violence relationship. And they also will give you information on how you can get out of that situation, right? You'll never be able to move forward in life if you're constantly under stress and under pressure in a domestic violence relationship. So let's get out there and let's make sure that we learn the signs, understand what's involved with domestic violence, and if it's not you, it may be someone you know. You may have a friend or family member who's going through domestic violence. You get the information, you can pass it on to them, get them the help that they need. All right? October is Domestic Violence Month. Let's go out there and let's help this cause. Let's break the cycle of domestic violence. Well, October is not only domestic violence, but October is kind of the beginning of holiday season. One of my favorite holidays is, of course, Halloween. So Halloween parties have already started. It started this past weekend, and it's going to continue for the next 7 or 8 days into November. And then, of course, when we hit November, we start thinking about Thanksgiving and start thinking about all the things that we're thankful for in our life. And, I just want to say I'm thankful for the individuals who've been watching my channel, individuals who have been subscribing to my channel, and don't forget to subscribe. Those individuals who have given me the encouragement to continue to do this process, right? And of course for my family and all of my loved ones. And then right after Thanksgiving, we start into the Christmas season where we're able to give back. Not so much that we're looking to get, but we need to also give back to those people that's less fortunate than we are. And remember that the Christmas season is all about, baby Jesus. If you're a religious person, you understand that. If you're not religious, then I would say, make sure that we give to those individuals who do not have, right, for Christmas. So, this is the time of the year where we start to give back to others, start to make sure that others are doing fine and others are doing well. I love the holiday season. Then we get to dress up in our fall and winter clothes as we go out there and we start to buy the hats and the scarves, and we start to buy the overcoats, and we start to buy the boots and the shoes, you know, all those things that give us that nice, warm, fuzzy look for the winter season that's coming up. Because once January hits the new year, then we start to begin to think about all of the New Year resolutions, all the things we want to change in our life for the year 2020, right? Isn't that incredible? 2020 is now coming. So we want to make some changes. All that stuff is going to be happening. So for the next 3 months, right, we're going to be deep into the holiday season, and it all starts with my favorite, Halloween. So if you're involved in any Halloween parties, go out there, get yourself a nice costume. And it doesn't have to be anything scary or spooky, right? You can get something that you like that can be fun. You may want to go back in history and get a nice costume. You may want to be religious and get yourself a religious costume. You may want to do something quirky, like getting yourself a Casper-friendly ghost costume, anything like that. But go out there and have fun with it, right? And don't forget to give back this season, because this is the season to give to others. Well, that's it for our show this week. Once again, I'm thankful for having you guys out there. I'm thankful that you're subscribing to the channel. And anything that you want me to talk about, don't forget to put it down in the comments. And I will see you guys next Monday.